Legal case seems to be a surefire winner. As we've seen in our series this week, winning in small claims court sometimes means losing for the majority of victims. Action 2's Ellen Jaffe concludes her series tonight with a look at the future of the small claims court. Ellen.
This week, Larry, we've reported the cases of some small claims court winners who have been unable to collect their judgments. To assess the problems and the future of the system, we go to those who have experienced it firsthand.
I don't know how he could make an honest judgment when he didn't hear anything, didn't see anything, and I have to admit it left me very disillusioned. We walked out of there thinking this was a bad joke. What is this all about?
Kathy Trillin lost her small claims court case after a judge spent 5 minutes listening to both sides but refused to look at some strong evidence supporting her case.
And I think that a lot of places get away with doing a lot of bad things to consumers, or whatever the situation is, because there is so much hassle involved in fighting something that they just give up.
Trillin's judge in the case refused comment, but the court administrator told us that certain judges spend longer on small claims cases than other judges. He suggested that a reorganization plan, which is now under negotiation, will give small claims cases to judges who want them. The biggest criticism of the small claims system is that those who do win cannot collect.
I heard recently that only 25% of all of the child support judgments are being collected, and child support judgments are favored under the law. You have certain advantages in trying to collect a child support judgment. That seems like a terribly low figure to me, but if you use that as a guide, I would think that less than 25% of the other judgments are collected.
It's not necessarily the best method. It certainly doesn't work all the time. Sometimes it's, to be recognized as kind of a last resort, and you make the best out of it that you can. I think a lot of times people come to court with the expectations that since now they've come to court, they will get their answer and get their relief, and that we can make everything right and remedy this problem. We just don't always have that ability.
Michael Allen took his landlord to small claims court and won. But in spite of many attempts to legally obtain his judgment, Allen was unable to find the assets of his elusive landlord.
If it was me and I owed somebody something, the courts would do something to make me pay it. And I feel like that, this is the first time I ever went through small claims court. And I really doubt if I would ever go through small claims court again, because there's just such a rigmarole, and it seems like every time I call down there, they direct me to somebody else, but yet nobody really has the answer.
If they find that this is a person with no assets, with very limited assets that would be protected under the law, you just well take your lumps and forget it.
It's something that is a problem and has been a problem, I guess, for more than 100 years, in the legal system and collecting judgments, and I don't think that there's any quick solution to it. From time to time, we do change the system, and there may be room for improvement here. I certainly wouldn't contend that it's a perfect system, but I think that it is good and reasonable and sensible, and I wouldn't have any specific suggestions in this area of improvement.
Judge Cohen says victims who win in small claims court become most frustrated when a favorable judgment does not translate immediately into money in their pocket. Judge Cohen says it's important for winners to be patient and persistent, pursuing collection methods that are available without hiring a lawyer, so that winners don't become losers. And in another Action 2 story broadcast earlier this week, we reported that the Missouri Attorney General's office had filed suit against the Professional Remodeling Association and its director, Bill Cunningham. Cunningham charged that the suit was political because of his efforts at trying to improve the construction industry. The state charged the association with fraud and giving consumers wrong information about the state's solar energy program. Today, a St. Louis County judge refused to issue a temporary injunction against the association. However, Larry, the state says that it will take the case to trial and pursue a permanent injunction.
So there'll be more coming on that story.
Right.
Thank you, Ellen. Well, if you thought inflation was eating away at your earnings more than usual last